It's fine. Stand up, I get up. I'm feeling when I shouldn't focus. I come on, be a good I shouldn't gonna stay focused. Opportunities, gotta get this, gotta fight this.
We all the way up, nothing can stop us, we all the way up. Akekho umuntu uzosivimba bafethu, akekho umuntu uzicela phansi, akekho umuntu uzosela amaphiko esinawo njengama-hustlers. Shoo, let me go back down to earth bafethu and remain grounded. Ngaphambi ukuthi nithi ngiyaphapha njenge-drone. Give us semakhaya sanibonani and a salute to all my hustlers. Igama uMemele Lushumo, less iSpani. Njengoba ke simkhombisa-ke umkhakha wama-drone pilots bafethu. Yabona le mshini-ke yasungulwa-ke ukulwa-ke impi against ama-terrorists. Kodwa khona manje siyiguqula iphinde futhi ithuthukise iy'mpilo zabantu mhlaba wonke jikelele. Mina ngizoyibamba kancane kodwa-ke uNtokoza bafethu umfaka Mthethwa uzoyichaza uchazeke njengoba-ke azoyichaza kabanzi. Insizwa-ke isashaya iy'mfundo zayo ze-aeronautical engineering bafethu. Njengoba sazi le y'mfundo-ke ziyabiza. Insizwa-ke izama ukuyenza lo msebenzi-ke izama ukuhlanganisa amaheheba oqedelela iy'mfundo zayo. Ngithi thina-ke ake sithathe amakhamera wethu siwafaka ku-drone. Ngileqiniso ukuthi seningena yibona-ke ehlelweni lethu bafethu. La sithwebula abantu ngathi sesibhakabhakeni siyehle siye ngakubo.
Ngimkhumbule esebhokisini. Like I think that's the real memory yami. I think for me it was more of prevent ukuthi abanye abantu bangago through that. Hi, igama lami Ntokoza Mthethwa. Ngizalelwe Ladysmith mara ngikhulele la eKagiso. I think the hardest part for me has been making peace with my failure. But I've gotten to a point where I'm not looking at anyone but running my own race and staying on my own lane. Come with me and let me take you through my journey. So mina ngikhule no mama. Ubaba wami died in 96 when I was 4. So for mina memory nginayo yakababa, I think ngimkhumbule esebhokisini. Like I think that's the real memory yami. I think ama-memory amaningi nginawo, it's the stories ebengitshela ngayo ukuthi bekumuntu onjani, like bekanjani kumama nezinto ezinjalo. So those I think they've become part of my memories. Nale story bengitshela zona ukuthi bekawasha, bekamenzela yabo izinto. Like he wasn't that old-fashioned man or the time ngiyahlala ngifunda iphepha, like bekamnceda umama. So those are the memories I think I have awakhe.
Kuyakwangimaza kakhulu. Kuyakwangimaza kakhulu ukungithatha isikhathi ukuthi ngiphole. Bengiba nesikhathi sisukuthi ngathi ngamvusa lo baba emathuneni. Why asheshe afa? Bengidonsa nje nzima ngalabantwana ungasebenzi. Ube nje umusa kaNkulunkulu ukuthi fikela ngikhona namhlanje. Ukuthi bakhulile bangaka. Umusa kaNkulunkulu.
So in primary school, bengifuna ukuba yiphoyisa. I think that's one of my first career choices now. Ngoba ubaba vele bekayiphoyisa and I think at that point in time uma beyangitshela ukuthi okay, so baba ushonile, but before eshona apparently he was like in a shooting and watujulwa. So for me na motivation yami was there to okay, so watujulwa kwenzeka so that's why bengifuna ukuba yiphoyisa. I think for me it was more of prevent ukuthi abanye abantu bangago through that, and for me it was I'm guessing ubamba lezo gebengu zamdubula and bengazi ukuthi sibanjiwe or not. So I think njengomntwana, for me the reasoning behind it wasn't it wasn't great. It was a revenge in a way for me. So I watched the show SABC 2 and Rebekanda Amaplane. So at that point, that's when I decided, okay, that's what I wanted to do. At that point in time, being as uti leontole, because I'm going to talk about Kanda listen to this, but I wasn't sure if igama lakhona. And I only found out in grade 10, Masiya go career exhibition for TTP, which is like a pre-university program where you go to. So we went to VETS and we were selected to do that program. So during that program, maybe since summer career exhibition, so I found out there with, okay, there's something called aeronautical engineering, and kwenziwa indiza, kwenziwa ma-rockets, kwenziwa nazo zonke lezi zinto lezo. Like you can actually go to space, which was also one of my interests. So for me, nje yahlanganisa zonke lezi zinto lezi ebengizithanda. So in 2009, I completed matric yam. I passed really well. Nga-apply e-VETS ukuthi ngenze i-first day yam. So mangithola ama-matric results ami ngathola le-SMS ukuthi bangi-acceptile. But now the problem was, where will the money come from? Because I'd applied for a bursary, but I don't think I even got a response. So I didn't have money ukuya esikolweni. But because I had performed really well and I was like in the top 10 of my district, ANC beyazi esikolweni sami, ANC Youth League, I think at that point in time. So one of the people there said, okay, no, we will sort him out in registration, no ngene esikolweni. And I think that for me was just like the grace of God. So drone racing Africa TRA, I found out about it when in 2016. So lecture yami yasend an email yathi, okay, there's this company efuna abantu abane interest in flying nje, like whether you're doing it as a hobby but you have an interest in flying drones or fixed wing stuff, and they're looking for my instructor abazobanceda, because November at that point in time they were planning to go to Cape Town with bayofundisa abantwana, so they needed ama instructor. So for me initially mangena I was like, ngaze ngiye Cape Town enjoying lezi lezi, but mangifika lapha I actually enjoyed it. Like masiya ku first session yethu, I actually enjoyed being nje around abantwana sibafundisa ama drones, and even though the Cape Town thing didn't happen, I stayed on nabo ngoba I actually enjoyed the work they were doing. So I've been a DRA for a few months, and kusasa ngizobe ngine interview nabo, and they want to assess me if they could take me as one of their drone pilots.
Ntokoza maya ku-interview kusasa, uNkulunkulu sengathi angamhambela phambili kube yimpumelelo kuko konke, and ngiyamnxusa ukuthi uNkulunkulu abheke inhliziyo yami nokuthi ngihlupheke kangakanani ngibathwele labantwana, ukuthi i-interview yakhe iphumelele ukuze kuzokhona ukuthi kwekushintshe naleli khaya, lingabi njengoba ubaba alishiya.
So if I get the position yobu DRA yoba pilot yakhona, I think change the way kungakhona endlini ukuthi I'll be able ukunceda kakhulu mama, so take off weight kuye ezintweni azenzayo, and I think nagimi nje izoba it will be a great thing, because it's my first job. It will be my first job as a qualified engineer, so I'm looking forward to learn it, okay, in the job in esiyenzayo and ngikhule from that. in drone racing or in drone flying with DRA.
You don't have any. Okay.
Ngifikelelana kuma-headquarters e-Drone Racing Africa ngine-interview namhlanje ngithukile a bit, but yeah, I'm sure kuzohamba konke kahle, and I hope ekhaya ba-proud ngami.
Good morning, Ntokoza. My name is Simon Robinson. I am the CEO of Drone Racing Africa. And I believe that you have found out about us through some of your fellow students. First of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the organization and what we do. And then I'd just like to ask you a few questions just to get to know you better. So Drone Racing Africa started about 18 months ago or so under our parent company, UAV Industries, which is a commercial operator. UAV Industries operates drones commercially under their license, their ROC, and we also train drone pilots to get their commercial license, their RPL. So, why don't you tell me a little bit more about yourself, because I'm really interested to hear.
So as you know, my name is Ntokoza. I just finished my honours degree in aeronautical engineering at Wits. I have a lot of interest in, for me, like planes and aircrafts and drones is one of the interests that I have. So that's why I chose the course. I wouldn't explain, there's a lot that I could say that I enjoy about the industry. And when I did my VEC work, I think I had to program a drone for mining surveillance, and I think that's where I got the interest in actually flying drones and getting my RPL in that.
So where exactly in Ntokoza has your interest in aviation aircraft, where did it stem from?
So I was watching a show on SABC 2, I think it's called Hip to be Square. So I was watching that, and they were actually making, they were working on a helicopter. And I think from then on, I knew that I wanted to do that because I've always been interested in building stuff and making stuff up.
Ntokoza, tell me more about programming drones specifically.
So we were dealing with more, so we had an actual drone that works already, but we were putting, I think we're putting an Arduino on it to put sensors around it and have it avoid obstacles. So we had to use, I think I was using C++, the language that I was using to program the drone, and we just, so it's more telling the robot what you would do in real life, but telling the computer what to do.
Did you ever crash that drone that you were testing?
A lot, because you have to take a lot. So there's a course that we did, it's called mechatronics. So you take the dynamics of things into play. So it's not just you put in an input and it reacts at the same time. There's some sort of delay, and it's due to the electric parts, the mechanical parts and stuff. So that helped me. At that point in time, I hadn't done that. So it was more, I didn't think of that at that point in time, but I think as we programmed it, yeah, we had a lot less crashes than initially.
So what are some of your interests outside of sort of the UAV industry that you think you might be able to bring to this job?
So I'm really into music. I don't know what aspect that we're to play in drone racing or in drone flying with DRA.
You don't have it. Okay. In Ntokoza, we are going to give you three tasks. One is theoretical, one is practical, and then one is practical outdoors as well. And should you pass all of those, then we will offer you this position as a Drone Racing Africa pilot and instructor. So good luck, all the best for the challenges, and I hope to see you on the other side. Thanks very much.
Ntokoza wa re hopotsa hore ho hloleha ke ha fela wena o lahlela toulo. Ha se ka potso ya hore o tla fihla na sebakeng ke hore ana o tla ba mang ntse o fihla sebakeng seo. Passion ya hae ya lekala lena ya iponahatsa. Highly technology e fetotse makala a mangata empa a teng a mang a ileng hore ha iso wa fetole. Di drone pilot ba fofisa nthona ba bitsang drone e nang le camera ka hare. E ye moyeng, e ye dibakeng, ho ilo bona dintho tse leng hore ka mahlo ha o kgonahale. Ene ba tlameha hore ba fete dikwetisong tse mmalwa. Mahaslas, hobby efe kapa efe e batla skill, and skill seo ke mosebetsi wa hao.
I'm Connor Teagues. I have a degree in mechanical engineering and I've been working in the industry for 2 years. Currently I work for DRA as a commercial drone pilot, and today I'll be Ntokoza's mentor.
Is it damn it?
Kanamali kodwa yena uyawuthanda lo msebenzi lo. Iqiniso bafethu ukuthi iningi lethu sinamaphupho amakhulu, ziningi into esifuna ukuzenza kodwa khona ingcindezi bafethu. Ngikhuluma ngemali njengoba sazi ukuthi imfundo bafethu azizi nje simahla. Ingakho thina sifuzela udaba lokuthi fees must fall. Khona ke ama-hustlers azokwazi ke ukufezekisa amaphupho abo. Kodwa lokho ke akumelanga kube sizathu ukuthi uhlale nje dere ekhaya ungenzi lutho, because a hustler makes a plan bafethu. Njengoba ke sihamba naye uNtokoza bafethu insizwa ke ezamhlanganisa imali yokuqhuzelela imfundo zayo. Ngokuba ke umfundisi wama-drones omjaho naye ke i-drone racing Africa, but things are about to get out of control. Njengoba ke ngiqala owami umjaho sibona ukuthi ubani ke oza nempendulo lokuqala khona lapha ku-Wejumbo. Nginikeze ke i-clue eyodwa bafethu okuyi-letter M. Unguyazi impilo ngena lapha ukuthi senda ku-Facebook, kodwa yazi kuthiwani ngaphambi kokuthi uhambe kumele uqale ukhase kuqala, ngaphambi kokuthi ushayele imishini endizayo kumele ke uthole imithetho nemigomo nemilandela bafethu. So I guess brother man has to be a bookworm first in order to be the early bird that gets the worm.
Alright, so Ntokoza, welcome to task 1, where I'll be asking you to do a presentation on drone theory, which will include drone regulations, theory of flight, and the drone components. Alright, and Ntokoza, would you like to start with your presentation?
Yeah, that would be fine. So I'll be doing a presentation on the different aspects of drones. So the laws, the different components, your flight controls and stuff. So for my first thing, it would be looking at the safety. So there's different rules that apply to flying drones, especially with hobbyists. So these include, so you can't fly 50 meters away from people, you can't fly 50 meters away from buildings, you can't fly 50 meters, within 50 meters from the road. It's also, you're not allowed to fly 10 kilometers away from airports. So you usually have apps that tell you the aerodromes that specify non-flight zones.
I just finished studying at Tux about 2 years ago now, and it was during my final year that drones started becoming quite popular, and that's when I started noticing it. I then bought the kit to build my own, and from there it just took off.
So into ngithanda ngama-drone ukuthi like kunezinto eziningi ongazisebenzisa for yona. Looking at the industry yakhona, there's a lot that could be actually used for ama-drone akhona. So I think into yenza ukuthi ngibe interested because there's so many opportunities angaza izinto esingazenza esingakazicabanga nozicabanga ngama-drone.
Next would be principles of flight.
So principles of flight, you have different principles of flight to help you with flying your drone. So that's to achieve your different maneuvers. So going left, right, it's moving in a 3D space. So you have your thrust, so that's going up and down. So your rotors would usually spin fast, then you go up and down, they all spin fast.
Maybe you can explain using the spark here.
Okay, cool. So when you're going up and down, which is your thrust control, all the rotors would spin at the same speed.
Okay.
So if you need to go even higher, they'd all increase at the same speed. Then if this is forward, then pitching forward and back would be that and that. So the rotors at the back would spin faster in order to pitch forward.
Yes.
Then the rotors in front would spin faster in order to pitch back. Then you also have your roll. So roll is left and right. So same principles, those on the left, those on the left would spin faster to roll to the right, and those on the right would spin faster to roll to the left. So into engikhumbula kakhulu ngobaba wami, I think most yama-memorying now wakhe, it's from the conversations I've had no mama wami. Like the stories she'd tell me. Like it's gotten to a point where I'm actually thinking, are these memories I have of him, or is it because ubangitshelile ngaye? So it's mostly ngoba le story lezi bangitshela zona ukuthi yena okay beka umuntu so. Because when he died, I think I was 4, so I don't remember much back then. But I think more into engikhumbula izinto abangitshela ngazo, like umama ngixoxela ngazo.
You may carry on with the presentation.
Okay, so I'll move on to the different components that you have for your drone. So you usually have your transmitter, so that allows you to control your drone from using your transmitter. Then you have a receiver on the drone, so that receives commands from your transmitter. So in your drone, you'd have the frame, you'd have your speed controllers that control the motor speed. So with brushless ones, you wouldn't have, with brushless ones, you'd need a speed controller, but with ones that have brushes, then you wouldn't need a speed controller. Then you have your video, is it damn it? So mini career ngenzayo yo ngiyayithanda. Like ngoba ngihlala 8 years if ngiyayithanda. Like I would not have stuck around for isikhathi eside so if bekuyinto engiyayithanda. So I think now for abantu nje if uthola into oyithandayo, it's always a motivation to go on.
So what appealed to me about drones is that it's first off related to aviation. And it's something new. I've flown as a kid remote-controlled fixed-wing aircraft, and multi-rotors just, it brings something new to play around with. So there are two different applications for drones, would be hobbyist and commercial applications. Which would you need your license for?
So you'd need a license for commercial use. So if you're flying as a hobbyist, you'd need permission from, so remember the 50 meters from people, buildings and roads. So as long as you're within those and following those laws, 10 kilometers away from airports, then you'd be fine. But if you're doing it for commercial use, so that's where you're making a profit from it, then you'd actually need an RPL. So that's your remote piloting license.
There are a host of other licenses that you need to operate commercially. Can you just explain some of those?
So once you have your RPL, that only allows you, that sort of says you're competent enough to fly a drone. So you need to do something called an ROC. So that's where you go to CAA and say, so I want to use my drone for commercial use, and this is what I want to use it for.
Sorry, and then the ROC, that stands for?
Remote Operating Certificate.
That's the one.
So yeah, you go to.
So some of the questions I asked in Ntokoza actually applied to commercial applications. For example, the ROC license and the RPL license. It's good to know that sort of stuff, but not necessary.
Like, mangitshela umama ukuthi ngiyemsebenzini. It's yazi kunzima umchazela. So ngiyamtshela uthi okay mama ngizisa ama drone. The other time ngibuza uthi okay so yilento oyifundele. Ngathi yeah a bit. So then because nalento ngiyifundele kunzima uku-explain. Ngiyasho nje ukuthi aeroplane phelela lapho. So aeroplane uyazi nje a bit of it but I don't think uyazi as much as detailed as I would know it.
Thanks, Ntokoza. That would be the end of task 1.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Ntokoza o re bontshitse tsebo ya hae ka lekala lena. Di-drones se ba di kentse karolong ya di-aircraft ho bua gore tshebediso le tsamaiso ya tsona se ntse e le dintho tsa aviation. Gore o kgone lekaleng lena o tlhoka National Senior Certificate, Maths le Physical Science di compulsory. Subject ya Geography yona he e ka o thusa. Ho tloga mo o ka etsa CPL ya hao, PPL. Empa ha o batla go flya commercially o tlhoka RPL. Mahaslas ha se ka ha difefo ke ga fela go dula leetong la hao.
There we go, nice and steady.
Ah, no. That was perfect, but I ruined it.
Okay, welcome to task 2. I'm going to ask you to demonstrate a tail and hover maneuver where you just keep the drone in a hover right in front of you. The second maneuver will be a box where you keep it in tail and hover, fly to the right, forward, left, back, and then back to center. The third maneuver is going to be your teardrop circuits. Just fly in an oval-shaped circuit in front of you. And then lastly, we're just going to do some fun flying where we attempt to get the drone to fly through the hoops in a circuit. All right, so Ntokoza, there's the drone set up. Could you just take off and demonstrate a tail and hover? And bring it up to about head height. Perfect. From there, can we do the box circuit, keeping the drone in tail and hover? I did give some thought to flying aircraft commercially, but it didn't appeal to me in the sense that you don't have much freedom when you're flying. When you fly recreationally, there's a lot more freedom and you're doing it because you enjoy it.
So mangiza i-drone I think izinto engicabangayo ukuthi back then a while back bengicabanga ukuthi ngizozenza lezi zinto lezi. Like I've always been umuntu ohand. So for me it gives me that perspective ukuthi I've actually made it. I've actually ngifikile kule ndawo le bengifuna ukuya kuyo. Like mangakhuluma nalo mfana lo bena 14 back then obhebheke le TV show ethi ngifuna ukwenza lezo zinto lezo ngiyabona ukuthi sengifikile kuleyo ndawo leyo, and for me it amazes me because I'm actually there. Like talking back to that young person I was, I'd actually tell him ukuthi we made it. Like even though it was tough, we actually made it, and we manje sesenza lezi zinto lezo sizithandayo.
Perfect, and then bring it to the left. Backwards. Perfect, and center. Cool. And from there we can do the teardrop circuit.
Okay. So just fly around.
Basically.
Ah, no.
All right. Okay, now you have 30 seconds to fly the drone through all the loops. Let's see how you do.
Okay, cool. Oh.
There we go, that's one. Control.
Control. That's beautiful.
Okay, there we go. almost.
Why is it doing that?
So I wouldn't say that drone racing is a rich person's sport. There are a lot of hobbies that are a lot more expensive. You can buy a first-person view racing drone for under 5,000 Rand at the moment. And in comparison to a lot of other hobbies, yes, some will be more expensive, some cheaper, but I wouldn't say it ranks as the most expensive. So the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is we're going to set up the gates in one straight line, and you're just going to start from the beginning and fly the drone straight through all the gates. Okay, so to begin with, my dad was a recreational pilot, and ever since I was big enough to fly with him, I was flying in gliders and his aerobatic plane for 2 years. And I was about 10 years old at that stage.
So if ubaba bekakhona, I think ngomama kasebenzi, so ushone umama engasebenzi. So bekuzoba lula for umama nezinto. I think maybe I would have had access to izinto ezinmore. So mangifuna izinto, mangicela logo beat esikoleni bafuna logo nalogo. I think yena bekazoba namandla ukwenza lezo zinto lezo ngoba uzobe esebenza. So for manje makukhona umama, khona ezinye izinto engakwazi ukuzicela, hayi ngoba angizifuni, hayi ngoba angithandi, but kumele ngibheke amandla wakho ukuthi akasebenzi yabo. So khona ezinye izinto engakwazi ukuzithola ngenxa yesimo sasekhaya. So if bekakhona, I think maybe bekuzohluka lapho ukuthi we'd have access probably to more things. Maybe ngabe ngiyesikoleni esihlukile, ngabe ngi-exposed to maybe different things. I think maybe I'd like the same things, but bengizoba exposed to izinto ezihlukile.
There we go, nice and steady.
Ah, no. That was perfect, but I ruined it. So it doesn't mean if you're a skilled engineer, you very careful, you uyakwazi ukuzenzisa lezi zinto lezi. So for me, it was a challenge also on my side. It's okay. So ngiyakwazi ukuzenza lezi zinto lezi, manje sekumele ngindizise. What direction?
Is that your battery power?
I have no idea. Why is it flying the wrong direction? Why is it? Okay.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay, now I got it. Is it going forward or back?
Just get some heights, fly it out. In my view, what makes a good racing pilot would be the person who wins the race. No, that's not even a quality. Okay, you're good from there. Okay, and last one.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well done.
Celebration.
Okay, bring it back and land on the table. Well done, Ntokoza. You've successfully completed task 2. Next up will be task 3.
Mona he o tlhoka skill le bokgoni ka go practice o tla nepa. Civilian pilot e tlama go passa di medical exam e bane le dilemo di le 17 e bane le matla e itekanele e gone go utlwa le go bona ene hape e bane le maitshwaro. RPL theory ya teng e tla go nka 7 days ha di practicals tsa teng di tla go nka 4 to 8 weeks. Mahaslas gore o tsebo go atlega kareng ya hao ha ona le botsebi e thute bokgoni ha ona le bokgoni e thute ka botsebi.
Up in the sky. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a drone bafethu econtroller ihasa lethu Ntokoza bafethu joba ke insiza ilobe indoors idlala ngale drone ngathi idlale iXbox. But now it's time to get out of the box and go outdoors bafethu njengenyoni ke esizoshiya idleke and hit the skies. Kodwa khona manje awuthi nginikeza something which is under its disguise, which is our jumbo ngokunikeza ke ama-clues amabili bafethu oku-E ophezu komunye u-E bafethu. Umyazi impilo ngena lapha ku Twitter no ku Facebook nithumele impilo emsebenzini ngokukhulu ukushesha. Uma-ke sibuye emva kwekhefu insizwa kuyosha i-final task. Babuki emakhaya, ngiyanicela please ningangikwatisi. Do not touch that TV remote control. We'll be right back.
Okay, I'm no longer piloting. Who's piloting it?
Alright, so welcome to your third and final task. We've come down to this outdoor flying field to fly this trainer drone. We've got two controllers. That is going to be yours. This will be mine. At any point that I feel that you have lost control of the drone, I'm going to take over by releasing this button that you see over here. I will then take over control. We're going to be doing similar flight maneuvers that we did with the Inductrix drone, and after that we're going to have a little surprise plan for you. Alright, Ntokoza, please take off for me and hover the drone above the pink cone in front of you. Okay, keep it in that tail and hover position. Perfect. Now I want you to fly a box maneuver, keeping the tail in hover, starting with the left move.
Yeah, is he in the way?
So it's important that I have control of the drone at any point, because these drones tend to break when you crash them. They're not like the Inductrix indoors, where they're cheap and easy to fix.
So umondiza ama-drone i-safety into ebaluleke kakhulu, and I think that's why kunama-laws akutshela ukuthi okay, you shouldn't fly 50 meters away from abantu, from ama-building nalezi zinto lezo, ngoba zizama ukuprotecta umuntu ondizisayo lawo ma-drone lawo, ukuthi just in case uchayisa umuntu or just in case you fly to someone's car, then you are protected on your side because uyazi ukuthi kena ngifollowile lawo ma-rules lawo.
Okay, try and maintain an altitude. That's good. Hold it there. Okay, now return to tail and hover. And now point the drone to the right and maintain that position.
Right, too high, too high. Where are you going now?
So what could go wrong in task 3 is that we're in a windy environment, so it makes controlling the drone a lot harder in comparison to the Inductrix that we flew indoors. And Ntokoza, you've demonstrated the maneuvers with me on the controls as standby. Now I want you to do the same thing, except you're going to be on your own this time.
uNkulunkulu sengathi angamhambela phambili kube yimpumelelo kuko konke, and ngiyamnxusa ukuthi uNkulunkulu abheke inhliziyo yami nokuthi ngihlupheke kangakanani ngibathwele labantwana.
Tail and hover. So left, forward, right, and forward, then box. I'll bring it back, it's going forward. It's not me.
What?
That's not me. Go. Then. Okay, I'm no longer piloting. Who's piloting it? So umama means a lot to me. Like she's udlale a huge role empilweni yami. Like mangakala nje ngithi ngisho izinto azenzile empilweni yami, I don't think I'd even stop counting. So udlale a huge role empilweni yami, like wenze okuningi. I think nokuthi ngibe la, it's from support yakhe ukuthi in days where bengifila ngathi kumele ngigive up, in days where I feel like ukuthi this is too much now, I've been doing the same thing for a while. Like bekakhona ngitshela ukuthi ukhumbula ukuthi na wangitshela ukuthi uyayithanda lento le, ukhumbula ukuthi wangitshela ukuthi ufuna lento le. So bekakwazi ukungiphusha ukuthi ngenze into engiyithandayo. Hi. Then Taylor Harbour. 10 seconds.
So on a solo flight, I did notice that the drone drifted off to an extent. I didn't feel it was unsafe at any points because he had the drone quite nice high up in the air, which gave him a lot of room to correct. Okay, well done, Ntokoza. Now you can bring it in and land. All right, Ntokoza, we're done with task 3. Moving on.
So Ntokoza, welcome back. How was your day?
Oh, my day was actually fun. It was very nice. I enjoyed the experience, flying drones and going through the interviews, going through the presentation was actually nice.
Okay, fantastic. So you did 3 tasks. I want you to tell me about each one. Firstly, your theory challenge. Tell me about that.
So the theory challenge, I just had to explain some of the laws, the components, and how it actually works. So the science behind the drones. So that was fun, except that I forgot a few things. But yeah, I got past that. With task 2, it was, I think the hardest part with task 2 was flying through the circuits.
Okay.
Cause I was standing in one place and you can't actually see, you don't know, like perspective wise it was difficult. So seeing whether you're going straight or you further or you need to come back and forward, that was hard. Okay. Then task 3, I think because we're flying outside, like compensating for the wind was a bit hectic. But I think once you get used to that, it became, once I got used to it, it became fine.
Okay, well, so I've had a discussion with your mentor, Connor, and he's given me some feedback. There were some areas where you were challenged and perhaps need to spend some more time on refining your skills. Do you have any questions from today?
I think for me is, since it's a new company, since DRA is a new company, where do you guys see yourselves? Where? Because being part of the company would mean growth also on my side, as much as you guys are growing. So where are you guys seeing yourselves in the next year or 2?
It's a very good question. DRA fits in as a feeder to creating commercial drone pilots, number 1, but we have a huge responsibility in this country and quite frankly in sub-Saharan Africa to educate children and adults how to fly responsibly and safely. So in terms of the career progression, there's an opportunity to grow within the DRA business as well as doing your RPL and becoming a commercial pilot. So to answer your question. Ntokoza, with that being said, we would like to offer you the position as Drone Racing Africa pilot and instructor based here in Johannesburg. And should you take a position, I'd like to say welcome on board.
Okay, thank you so much.
I will get HR to send you your contract. Please read through it, come back to us, and we'd like you to start as soon as possible.
So from interview, I'm Nitiare, and I got the job. Shooting things was in this bang, was not the old lady, was Funda, was going to no my yining from. So to all my hustlers out there, presser, pusher, panda. Galagat!
Well done, Ntokoza. Re bone ka wena gore wa kgonahala go fetola passion ya hao o e etse patala ya hao. Potso ya rona ya beke ena e tswa go Tumelo. A re yena o na le kgatlhego go dinomoro a ka batla go ithutela go etsa bookkeeping. Batho ba bookkeeping he ba beakanya le go bokella di financial data ha batho ba accounting ba di hlalosa. Hangata go tlhokahala higher certificate empa ko ICB ba ka honka ka grade 10. Ha se o qetile he o ka sebetsa makaleng afe kapa efe ene hape o ka itshebetsa. Ha e ka ba hona le go sa utlwang hopola o checkela Facebook le yona website ya rona. Romela ya hao potso.
Insizwe siyapapa iphaphele emoyeni ngithi nyawuza uphophela bafethu uNtokoza bafethu flies like a drone and works like a hustler. Ke masithi halala ke emsebenzini wakhe omusha. Nilapha emakhaya bafethu khumbulani ukuthi ikusasa lenu lisezandleni zenu like a remote control. So take control. Okungilethayo kwimpendulo yethu ye word jumble. Igama kade silifuna yi remote. Uma kuyitholile ngithi halala kuwena, uma ungatholanga hawu remote yakho bengana amabheshi. But don't stress, you'll get another chance next week. Mina ngumfana kaMntambo ngidonsa zonke intambo sengiphuma kanje. Ahlangana khona lapha ku Twitter, Facebook and also on YouTube. Ngizalinkela ngithi press up, push up, panda. Don't look down, look up and stay up, and never ever let the issue of not having money to ever cloud your judgment.